Yeah.
I'd be totally stoked if it was.
I can't imagine where it is, and based on the
timing, because this is when you were still at Corona Del Mar.
I was at Corona Del Mar school then. Well, this is Corona Del Mar.
That actually, like,
Look
yeah,
at
it's the
this.
same
3,
series.
4, 4. Yeah.
It's definitely within the same series.
Yeah,
So that's either Corona Del Mar or Balboa Island.
Okay. Would you actually mind describing that incident when it snowed?
Yeah, I guess. Like just.
What were you doing when you woke up?
I don't remember. I just do remember being so surprised, and it seems to me I told my parents it snowed outside, and they no, and I went outside, and there it was. And I remember all the neighborhood kids. Some of them had bikes that they had stripped, which means you took the fenders off and everything was. In fact, my grandfather gave me this brand new Schwinn, and that's what I did to it. Oh God, they were upset. And they'd get out on that snow in the street, and they could slide. And I remember the vacant lot across the street from us.
On Topaz?
On Topaz, at what's the street closest to the South Bay?
Park Avenue? Or South Bayfront?
Yeah, South Bayfront. Yeah. There was a vacant lot at the corner of Topaz and Park, and it was a 2-story, maybe even a duplex or an apartment built on the lot adjacent to it. But it was just vacant grass or a sandy lot, and we used to play baseball there. I remember that was all covered with snow.
Did you guys build a snowman or anything like that? Or a snowball fight?
People tried, I remember, but it wasn't that much. My recollection is I was 7 years old or 8 years old. But, that was only about 68 years ago.
That's awesome. And then with that being said, I'll look in to see if I can maybe swap that.
But it's got to be, because it was taken the same time. If you look at their consecutive numbers on the back of that.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely could be Balboa. Maybe this is because all the trees are so young and I don't recognize.
If we scan it, I can
blow it up. Yeah, that'll be much easier. Then we can look maybe at a street number.
Help yourself.
Awesome.
Take whatever you want. Take them all and then bring them all back. Whatever you want. Now, is that my...
That's your, I believe, first grade, Corona Del Mar.
Okay. That's me in the front row. Recognize one of the kids.
Yeah, if you go by the edges.
I wish my mom had written on the back who they were. You have second or third grade there?
It's his first grade on there.
No, but do we have second or third grade?
Let's see. I believe this is kindergarten.
Okay, that's a good one then. I wouldn't remember anybody in that class. I had a black girl in that class.
I actually recognize that your classes were actually more diverse than mine were.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we had some. Oh, here we go. There's some names on it. Johnny Giesel. The last name on that. Carol Sue. Johnny H. Los Angeles area or something. That's all in high school. That's
okay.
That,
Okay. Did you collect anything from these guys either, or no? Like Johnny Otis or anything like that?
Well, I have a whole bunch of records from all those guys, yeah, and I have a tape of all of it. I made a 6-part, 6-disc thing on rock and roll rhythm and blues from 1953 to 63. All pre-Beatles, and I have all these disc jockeys on it.
Whoa. What was Lefty Murdoch's real first name?
Wayne.
Wayne Murdoch.
Yeah, I can't believe I remember that.
Huh. Let's see. Then pretty much we can delete that one.
Alright, that's good.
1015 jukebox.
That's what I have out in the lobby.
Okay. Lobby. I like that.
The guts are out of it now, being repaired again. Ooh.
Bob Keefe.
He's pictures all over the inside. He was my crazy friend at Judge who did all kinds of crazy things. He and Jack Selman.
Doug Hively.
Bob's highway. Doug was a friend of ours and got killed.
Cindy Gillette.
It's Jack Selman's wife now.
Camp OCOE.
That's where Osceola. That's where I have all those pictures from camp. And there were a
YMCA.
whole lot of Newport Beach kids that went to that. The first year I went, I went with Newport Beach, and then I went from Orange, and it was all Orange County YMCA.
Huh.
I've got all those pictures are in there.
Cool. Okay, I'll look for the Nixon campaign. We will have to go into much more detail on that because I know that's a very extensive one. So I'll save that for next time.
That was 52. Oh.
Hollywood Bowl Eisenhower.
Yeah, I saw Eisenhower speak at the Hollywood Bowl in 1952. I still have a pin from there.
Ha. And then Nixon's handwritten note.
In my mother's stuff, I have either a 5 or a 9-page small stationery note that Richard Nixon wrote to my mother when my grandfather died. It's all handwritten. Really very cool.
Wow. Cannon Bunkport, Maine. Pistols and tape.
Yeah, that's where I started buying a bunch of these guns here and at home. And Kenneth Bunkport, Maine was a really neat place, and it wasn't until 40 years later I realized that's where George Herbert Walker Bush lives and has a home.
Huh. Nice.
First president, yeah.
President Bush.
Bunkport.
He has an interesting World War II story.
Yeah, he sure does.
Being the only one that
Yeah,
survived.
have you read the book?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great book.
It is. It's amazing how he survived.
Yeah, and boy, you realize how bad the Japanese were. Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
Eating their body parts,
Yeah.
they're cooking their liver and eating
Yeah,
it.
that's a very famous incident.
Yeah.
You don't see that happening in Europe.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not even
no,
with the Russians.
No,
they weren't even that barbaric.
The Russians and the Germans were nearly as barbaric as the Japanese.
Excuse me one second.
This is new.
I was a big Cub fan. I've got a picture in the other room from that. Dick Roby and Brian Kennedy and I went back, and I asked Bill Wrigley, I said, can we get tickets? He said, sure, you sit in my box. So first, there were 2 games in Chicago, and then it was a 5-game series. There'd be 3 in San Diego. And the first day we sat in Wrigley's box, which was pretty cool, and watching the Cubs win. And the second day, he said, well, you guys want to come back tomorrow? I said, I'd like to sit in the outfield bleachers at Wrigley Field. He said, fine. So we're sitting out there. And I'll never forget, I'm sitting on like the 3rd row, and the row in front of me, about 3 seats over, is Bill Veeck, who used to run the Chicago White Sox, and he's the guy who hired a midget to be his leadoff hitter because nobody could pitch to him, and he'd walk. He was quite a character, and he had a wooden leg. He was in short pants with a wooden leg and no shirt, and he had a beer in each hand.
Oh my God.
And he's a legend. And I caught Ron Say's home run ball that day. And then there's another story about Reggie Jackson that went on. It's not so good, but that was the last. I was a Cubs fan, and that's the last time that they ever got to the playoffs until this year.
Yeah. Now, Hamilton Cove, what was your involvement with that again?
I was the owner, one of the owners. Byron Tarnitzer and I were partners, and we were developers. I sold my company to Byron soon after we finished building the model, so I was not there for the completion of the project.
Now, did you ever go to Catalina when the Cubs trained there?
No.
Did you ever see any of the players from the Cubs coming through Newport when they went to go out there? Or?
Well, I do remember it, and I had I had some stuff in the museum on that from these scrapbooks that I had. I don't know where all that went. I'm gonna write myself a note.